Wouldn't it be nice to turn back the hands of time? In a way, you may be able to. If you're looking to erase a few wrinkles or rejuvenate your look, there may be an answer to your desires. Dr. Christopher Maloney of Maloney Plastic Surgery is here to tell you about a few of your options. Welcome, doctor. Thanks for being here. We're talking about facelifts, and as we said, a few of the ways to erase those wrinkles. First, though, let's talk about you. Tell us about your background.
Well, I grew up here in Tucson, Arizona, which is why I ended up coming back. And my training involves medical school at Columbia Medical School. Then I did my general surgery training at Vanderbilt, followed by my formal plastic surgery training at Harvard Plastic Surgery Program in Boston. And I've been back in town since, excuse me, 2002.
Local doctor. I'm sure a lot of people appreciate that when they visit you. As we said, we are talking about facelifts. What exactly is a facelift if people are looking for that rejuvenating look?
Facelift really encompasses changing the lower face as well as the neck. So for instance, I'll have a lot of people who will come and say, I don't need a facelift, I just need my neck tightened.
They call that the waddle.
That's correct.
That's what my mom calls it.
That is really what a facelift does. And so it basically involves making some incisions that go around the ear, in front of and behind, and then typically a small incision underneath the chin. And it allows you to get access to the lower face and neck area where we can remove excess unwanted fat, tighten the muscles and tighten the bands in the neck, and also trim the jowls, lift them up, and reposition things in a more appropriate, more youthful manner.
Agree with me or not, that is one of the things that I think ages a woman the most, and then when you remove it, can make her look that much more youthful.
Correct. I mean, you can't hide your face. You can hide a lot of different parts of your body, but your face is really what presents you to the world. And so when you have aging face and an aging neck, it's really hard to cover that up with makeup and clothes.
Yes, absolutely. And I understand there's a lot of hype between these different things. Quick lift, thread lift, what's the difference between those and facelift?
Basically, they're all the same thing. The principles are the same. We're basically just talking about different techniques. The thread lift has largely been abandoned except for maybe a few non-surgeons that may be using it, but that involved basically just using a percutaneous thread that goes through your skin and basically is just pulling up the soft tissue. As you can imagine, it's not very long lasting and it's not very efficacious for really doing what you need to do. Quick lifts and all these other types of things that you might hear are, you get what you pay for. I mean, the less invasive it is, the less result you're going to have, and the fewer, the longer it's not going to last. So a facelift, whether it's a quick lift or whether it's a modified mini lift, which a lot of people want, really encompasses the same thing, which is you have to make an incision. If you have unwanted fat, you have to remove it. If you have weakness to the muscles underneath the neck or the face, you have to tighten them and reposition them where they belong. And if you have excess skin, you need to remove it. So a lot of these other things are basically just a marketing ploy to get you to come in when a board-certified plastic surgeon is actually doing the exact same thing, only a better job that's going to last longer.
When you talk about last longer, and I'm sure it varies person to person, woman to woman, man to man, what are we talking about? What can we look for?
Well, if someone's just going to do like a little mini facelift and just tighten the skin just a little bit, that's all it's going to do is tighten the skin, and then your skin's going to stretch with time. But when you're really rejuvenating someone's face and doing a proper facelift, you're removing unwanted fat, you're tightening the muscles and removing bands in the neck, you're lifting the jowls and lifting the soft tissues of the face and placing them back where they belong, and in addition, removing excess skin, all in a way that conceals the scars in the most invisible, appropriate manner. So if you're taking some shortcuts on some of those, you're basically not going to correct the underlying deformity, and you're going to get a result that's not going to last as long or look as good initially.
And what about recovery time? What are we looking at there?
Recovery time is actually fairly quick because if you have hair, say for instance like yourself, it's covering the front part of your ears, which is the only place where you would have a visible scar. Typically we'll do this without drains, with no sutures that need to be removed. It's an outpatient procedure. The complications are very low, and the recovery can be as little as a week to two, depending upon whether or not you have to be a news anchor and be back to work with no bruising, or whether or not you don't mind people seeing a few bruises.
Sure. And a lot of people say that they don't want that plastic surgery face, they don't want to look unnatural. How can they get that facelift without looking unnatural, without looking like somebody else?
Well, first and foremost, pick a board-certified plastic surgeon that's, a member of the American Society of Plastic Surgery and has experience doing these types of procedures, and go and look at their pictures. If you go to someone who doesn't have the qualifications or experience, you're risking getting a result that you're not going to like. And there's no question, if you just pull the skin really tight, it's going to look like that's what you did. What you really need to do is, like I said before, is you need to correct the muscles, remove unwanted fat, and reposition things in a natural look, because nobody wants that fake artificial look.
No, absolutely not. All right, doctor, good to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you are thinking about enhancing your look, just call Maloney Plastic Surgery 298-2330, or you can go online, maloneyplasticsurgery.com. And if you mention you saw them right here on the Morning Blend, you can get your consult fee waived. Again, just mention you saw them right here on the Morning Blend when you call that number 298-2330, or you can go online, maloneyplasticsurgery.com. And don't go anywhere. The Morning Blend will be right back in just a couple of minutes.